Hi, I'm Jo Corey. I'm not quite looking in the right direction for you, but I'm doing a quick practice on a video walkthrough, an official one for our art show, Missing. And I thought I'd do this for you, Amanda, Venetia and Kate, so that I can sort of tell you some of the background things to some of the artworks that people can interpret in whatever they want, really. So I'm just going to turn this around so you're not just looking at me, and then you can have a look at the artwork and you can hear what I have to say about it. So it's a really nice day today, which is why I'm doing this today. So people come in the hallway to the house, and the first thing they see on the left is these are 3 pieces that I called thinking pieces. They're called, these 2 here are called Home Life of the Praying Mantis, and this 3rd one is called Siblings. So these are pieces which actually I showed in an art show last summer. Actually, this piece actually is very much, it's something from, I picked up these images from about 10 years ago. I've been working with them for a really long time. The rabbit is my sister Teresa and I both had the same rabbit made for us. It was a knitted one based here on the Isle of Wight. The butterfly necklace that is hanging from the rabbit is actually, again, something that was a present that was given to me around the time, but it's also like a symbol of rebirth. And here you've got, on this side, you've got the scissors, and this is like a birth bracelet, and there's like 7 little christening bracelets all around here. This is called Siblings, and almost feels prophetic, you know, the way that Teresa's death has actually pretty much split us all apart now. It's pretty terrible, but you know, these are sometimes the things that happen. So these 2 pieces, these are collage pieces, and this is the nest of the praying mantis, and this is a diptych. So you've got 3 praying mantises sort of hidden in here in the nest. You've got another 3 here. These are pieces again that I thought about for quite some time. I've been thinking about things to do with praying mantises probably for about 10 years. And I knew I wanted to do something with them. Sometimes making drawings or prints and things help me sort of think about it. And then here on the right hand side is a new piece. This is a 6-foot kind of drawing which I've done of the praying mantis nest. And I used, it's quite delicate actually, I used pencil and charcoal dust, red charcoal dust, which sort of applied with a cotton bud, and it took some time, but I use drawing a lot as reflection. It helps me think about things, calm down, and I sort of in effect pull things apart and reconstruct them and question about what it is, why something is maybe bugging me. But I've called this piece Exposed Nest 1 Deconstruct, and you know, for your sake, what I'm obviously been thinking about a lot is this whole nest of people who have kind of affected our lives from Cordy Island, and their nest has been exposed and it's been deconstructed here. I actually decided to do some text, which is quite unusual for me for this particular show. So you can see here that I've written a few things to give people maybe a clue or 2 about maybe what's behind what I'm doing. But also it's quite important to make artwork. Once you've done it, it's not yours anymore, and you have to allow people to, in a way, think about and project their own ideas on things. Moving from Nest 1, you can see there's a room there on the right, which I'll talk about in a minute. But this is a drawing. As you can see, there's the floating rabbit again, and the shell, which I'll talk about another time. And that's a drawing I did in 2007. Again, you know, I sort of play and think about these things for quite a long time, so drawings really help me sort of think about, give me reflection time and help me think about things. I suppose it's quite therapeutic, really. I'm not really supposed to talk about that in the art world, about how therapeutic artwork can be, but you know, and you're supposed to kind of be beyond that. But actually, fact is, I know a lot of people who find, you know, art in all sorts of forms a comfort and a sort of an outlet for things that they want to communicate. So here, this is a piece of work that I've wanted to do for a really, really long time, and I planned this piece for this particular show about 2 years ago, and you know, it's been very strange considering all the things that have happened in the last year. Just what I've done for this show, I just can't believe it. Well, like I say, this really was all stuff that I'd planned way in advance before Amanda's article came out. Anyway, so this is this very strange sort of gum strip cast process that I use. I'll do a quick explanation of the process I use for this. It's a very strange casting process that I developed when I was a student, for all sorts of reasons. If I ever meet you guys, which would be really nice, I can always talk to you about it again. But basically I use gum strip paper, and everything you can see here is as a result of having touched something or moulded it very carefully using this gum strip paper process, which I've developed myself. And it kind of dries, and then it's very dry and a bit horrible actually, but then I coat it in linseed oil, and that's what makes it really transparenty. I've done this on a really large scale with other things, birds and all sorts of other things. I had a big solo show about a year or so ago, which was all talking about historical sort of events and objects, and I did bits of casts of body and all sorts of things. Really enjoy doing it actually. But this one is called Lost Dialogues, and it's nearly 500 casts of mobile phones, and they're all sort of suspended a bit. What I've done is I've played a lot with perspective here, because I've sort of done a reverse perspective where you've got the big ones right at the back and you've got the small ones coming forward, and that sort of plays with your eyes a little bit. It's the really nice shadows, which kind of get enhanced even more if you put lighting underneath. And also there's this feeling of piano strings behind, or you know, harp strings, but it felt like a piano to me. I always used to like the inside of my dad's piano. He was a jazz pianist. And basically they're all casts of, in effect, lost conversations maybe that you would have had instead of being on your phone, or maybe even representative conversations that can now never take place. So this is this piece. So my phone battery is annoying me, but I'm just going to carry on. I'll say this is a practice piece anyway. So you come into this room, continuing on before, I'm just going to show you the whole room. This is a room we use a lot for computer work, and people can sit down and they can have a look at the piece if they want. But I quite like that this was, the mobile phone piece was right next to the computer as well. That's partly what I talk about in the text, which I'll show you in a second. And then you come over here, and this is a piece that I wasn't thinking about showing, but I did in the end. And I've actually never shown this piece. It was a piece of work that I did in 1994. It's a triptych. I did it when I was studying photography at the Royal College of Art. I never showed anybody this, not my tutor, nobody. It was a piece I made, and which is actually quite common for me. I'll make pieces and then I'll just sort of store them away. Sometimes it's not very important for me to show them to people, but this is actually some negatives that I found. I was working a lot with found things, and then I found a load of negatives, like in a box, just kind of chucked in there from my family. This is actually, and there were photos of my sister and I on holiday in the beach. And they fit really well with some of the concepts behind the mobile phone, where, you know, everything is so throwaway and conversations are quite throwaway. So that's my sister Teresa there, and that's me. And then there's this photo in the middle, which when I developed it along with a whole number of other photos, just at the time, I think it was probably why I didn't show it to anybody. It just felt so, there was something about it that was completely representative of everything that happened, and you know, us on a beach together, and there was a huge sense of loss when I developed this picture. And the two quotes, it's the quote in French, original one from Maxime Alexandre, and that's the translation. I scratched the writing into that particular photo in French and the original one, and I sewed over. So it's almost like the wound and then almost like the sewing over exactly the same quote. But it's a very pertinent one for me, and it's this quote actually that I asked for to be put on the memorial bench for my sister on the Caldy grave. So a lot of what I just said there is not something that I kind of tell people about, but these are the accompanying texts to kind of give people something to link in, maybe from their own history or their story, but it also gives them a clue of some things that I've been thinking about.